Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Here we are with our Survivor 49 Episode 3 reaction and review. Now, there's going to be a lot of old man yells at cloud moments throughout this video, and I think a lot of it is just that we're coming off of 3 episodes that I think are really frustrating to a lot of longtime fans and for a number of different reasons.
Yeah, they are. And then we've got everything that's happened tonight with Jake and the snake bite and him getting pulled from the game when hard hat on everyone. I do not think that he should have been pulled from the game for having a snake bite that was a dry bite, and the things that were said with this whole thing, it felt like Jeff wanted to have a moment on the show. And I'm not saying that it wasn't scary when it was happening, but once it was diagnosed, it was like, okay, this was a dry bite. There's no venom. It'll be okay. At that point, it's kind of like, okay, so then it's basically he just got bit by a non-poisonous snake, let's call it. So why can't he go back in the game? He's got 2 little holes in his foot. I'm sure if you had asked Jake, he would have wanted to go back.
I feel like coming out of this, it's one of the strangest evacuations that the show has ever done. And really, it comes down to just this one thing to me. If you guys, and I mean you guys, I mean Survivor, had done a better job of sort of articulating all of the different problems that would come from Jake still being in the game, I would probably sit here and feel a little bit different about it. But we went back and we looked at a lot of these other evacuations that have happened over the years, and a lot of them are, oh, this is on the verge of a serious infection, or even, oh, you've got a little sand in your eye and it could cause you to lose your sight. And it just felt like in this instance, it was so much focused on the drama and not so much focused on the, okay, it's a dry bite. You're going back into the game. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, there was no talk of infection. I mean, even Jeff being like, oh, you need air conditioning. I'm like, he needs air conditioning. This is why he's getting pulled from the game, because he needs some food and air conditioning. When the doctor was like, oh, yeah, he's seeming really stable. Everything is looking okay. There's no venom in his system. I was like, okay, it's to me at that point, it feels like basically he's been bit by a dog. And now that that bite has been there and he's got a couple little holes in his foot, even he was like, ah, I think maybe I got bit. I don't know. It doesn't hurt. I didn't feel anything, but maybe possibly. I'm like, okay, if the actual entry wound doesn't hurt and there's no venom, then why does he need air conditioning? Why can't he just go back to the game?
I
I
think
call BS.
Okay, I just feel very much like Survivor has gotten into this era now where they're really trying to make everything as happy and at times as safe as humanly possible. And from the safety standpoint, I understand the idea that you don't want somebody to die out on the beach, because if that ever happens with the US version of this show, it's probably going away and never coming back. And so I think there are times when, yeah, they're probably going to be overly protective of certain situations. And I don't mind at all their all hands on deck approach at the
Yes.
start of all of this. Like, yeah, you should take this really, really seriously because based on all the information they have, it's a really poisonous snake, but it's the aftermath of that, then what you decide to do with this player, like what's best for him, his long-term health, but also the game. Like, that's where this episode was just confusing.
Really confusing. And I think for a lot of us out there that love Survivor, but also like other survivalist shows like Alone and stuff like that, where people are like pulling fish hooks out of their hands and just bandaging it up with a leaf and some spit and going back into the game. It's like, okay, is that okay? Like, we know that Survivor has a really awesome medical crew there that are
Yes.
going to jump in situations like this. They've said they've never had a situation like this. They're going to jump in and they're going to make sure he's okay. And then they did that. It's like, oh, dry bite, no venom, stabilized. It seems good, coherent. I'm like, okay. Oh no, he needs round the clock care, air conditioning, and food. I was like, Jeff, you need to sit this one out, man.
Here's what I wish they had done, because I think if they had done this, I would be much more okay with this situation overall. If they had presented it to Jake and was like, all right, we will give you a choice as to whether or not you want to go back into the game or not. But just so you know, here are the specific risks that go along with this. Unless it's something where his life is actually on the line and he needs to be saved from himself because, well, they didn't say that that was going to be the case here. But
No.
a lot of Survivor players, they're never going to think with their own self interest. But if this is not a life threatening or even just like a life altering sort of injury, I feel like you should just give the player a choice. And if they understand the risks and want to go forward with it, then that's ultimately on them.
Have med checks. If you're really that concerned about it, have med checks. Have people come in and check the players, which I would assume is already being done. It's done on shows like Alone. This is Survivor. They're very careful here. Like I can't see that people aren't being monitored there to make sure that they're okay.
I think just the person I feel the worst about in all of this is Jake. And I'm not even sitting here being like, I'm the biggest fan of Jake that has ever existed. Like, I thought he was fine. I didn't really love his whole shoe stealing stunt because that's just what it felt like. But to go out there and fall victim to something that was a complete accident, it's not like he did something dumb that caused him to get hurt and be evacuated from the game.
No. And then you've got Jeff like standing there with the doctor. The doctor's explaining everything. Okay, it's a dry bite. There's no venom. You've got lots of fluids in you. You know, you're doing A-okay. Everything is all right. Right in front of Jake and Jeff. Then you've got Jeff all of a sudden turns away from the doctor and to Jake. Okay, Jake, so the doctor said, I'm like, he's sitting right there. He's completely coherent. He just heard the doctor. This felt too much like Jeff wanted to have a moment to like show how much he cares, because I think he does care.
Yeah.
And to show how much the show cares and how much the show behind the scenes is ready to jump in. But they could have been ready to jump in, bandaged him up, made him feel better, and sent him back out again into the wilderness. It just felt like they wanted to have him sent home to have this big moment to be like, yeah, we really care about him, had him seen, and then we sent him home to have his air conditioning and food.
Okay, well, we still have more to say about this, and beyond all that, everything else that still happened in this episode.
Yeah.
But before we get into any of it, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are here covering Survivor 49 all season long. And in addition to that, we're also doing the Amazing Race 38, which is also on CBS Wednesday nights, and having a great time with that as well.
Absolutely. It is also Matt's birthday coming up on
Yeah.
Monday, so happy birthday.
Thank you very
And
much.
if you want to give Matt an early birthday gift, head over to our Instagram, Matt and Jess TV, and give us a follow over there. We're going to have all kinds of birthday pictures up there
Yeah.
from the weekend. It's going to be a really fun time, so we hope you join us over there.
Thank you guys so much for your support. Like, it
Thank
really
you.
does mean a lot to us. Okay, let's just go more into the presentation of this whole routine here, where the snake bite happens. Jake gets pulled from the real part of the game.
Yep.
They decide to show us base camp. So we're getting a peek behind the curtain. And then all of a sudden, this turns into an episode of The Pit where everybody's running around. We're seeing all this stuff
Of course.
in real time. And it just goes back, though, to something you said a minute ago. We already know that the Survivor medical team cares. Like, all of this
Yes.
is painfully obvious to all of us. I don't think we need Jeff over explaining it to us. And I just feel like we could have just had more time at camp with these other tribes rather than go through all these various procedures while you've got poor Jake sitting there with like an oxygen mask on, just devastated at the idea that his game, like, I just felt uncomfortable for him.
I felt weird about it because it felt like an Emmy submission at this point, that it felt like Jeff really wanted to have this huge moment because nothing like this has ever happened on the show before. Absolutely, it is unprecedented that something has happened like this. And while it was happening, and they're like, oh my God, this is a really venomous steak.
Yeah.
You know, we got to get him in. I was like, okay, I'm here for all of this. Let's get him on the stretcher. Let's get him into medical. Let's get him to the doctor. Jeff is there. Everybody's there. It's super intense. I'm like, okay, is it going to be okay? Is it going to be okay? Yeah, you just need some food and air conditioning. It's a dry bite. There's nothing else going on here. I was just like, oh, okay. So you're going to put a bandage on it and send it back in? Oh, no, we're sending you back home because you need round the clock care. For what?
I just think the other big problem with these situations is it's just that I believe that they're very high drama and scary out. in the field while they're
Yes.
happening. But it's the whole time all this was going down. Like, I never once felt like seriously concerned for Jake outside the game. Like, I think I just felt because of how good we know the Survivor team
Yes.
is that he was gonna be okay no matter. So it's just whatever tension was there. Like, it was maybe around for a minute, but then this whole segment just went on and went on and went on.
It really went on because even Jeff was like pushing this narrative that Jake was kind of like hysterical in a way, that it was like, oh, he's, your body really tenses up and it's, you're freaking out because you think maybe this happened to you, but it didn't. And while there's no venom in him, he's still in this state of mind that he's unable to play and he has to go home. And I was just like, Jake's a tough guy. And I feel like once he heard that there's no venom in there, give him a half an hour and an orange juice and send him back. He's going to be just fine.
I just really hope that on the other side of all this, Jake actually does get to come back and play again, just because of the fact that he was obviously really, really trying. Yeah, some of his stuff was a little bit, I want airtime, but at the same time, I would rather have someone desperate to make an impact than someone who's just going to sit around and do nothing. Like, clearly, he wanted to play really, really hard. And, I hope that he does get that opportunity. I mean, they did give it to your guy, Bruce. So I just
Mhm.
feel like Jake obviously got to play a little more than Bruce's first time, but he still deserves a chance to actually see all this through.
We just need a whole season of Survivor that is filled with players that have been injured or medevaced or something, and just have them all have a second chance.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him. I'm glad that he's doing okay, but
Yep.
beyond
And
all,
congratulations on your baby. I know it's a while now, your baby's older, but
congratulations anyway.
I'm
Now,
glad that he got to be there.
yeah, now the other part of this, not to just continue to be old man yelling at Cloud here, is just that this blue Kele tribe is terrible at this point.
Oh my God, the blue team is cursed.
Like, they're absolutely cursed. And this is why I'm just sitting back and I'm just thinking, do we need to do something to, I don't know, go back to two tribes at the start of a season or just like something else? Because it just feels like we're seeing time and time again one tribe in this
Yes.
new era just constantly get the shaft over and over again.
Yeah, this seems to happen almost every season now, where one team is just getting trounced every single week and the other two teams are still really thriving. And it's just, this isn't working anymore.
No, you want to keep obviously players on their toes, not knowing what the tribe alignment's going to be going into the season is that. But I think also for viewers, we've just seen the same thing over and over again in this new era. And I think we're all craving something more. The other thing that's just crummy about it is just that there are people I genuinely think who have been on this tribe who could have had opportunities and probably have played well if they were not on the cursed tribe.
Everyone just needs to get their flint at the beginning of this. Just make it equal across the board, that everyone is able to have fire and is able to eat. Because at this point, I would just like to see, if it's going to be 3 tribes, 2 tribes,
Yeah.
whatever it is, everybody just needs to be at the top of their game so we can see like real challenges being met by everybody at the top of their game. Like, can we just see that?
I will give Kele some credit here. They did all right in the first part of this immunity challenge, and then they just faded at the end. And that to me did feel like okay, having their flint, having constant fire, having some sort of nourishment, that it was just like
Yes.
exhaustion setting in, their brains not working. I understand that the yellow tribe has puzzle master Jason, who Probst is hyping up as like the greatest solver of all time, but it's just like,
He's awesome.
he is awesome, but if this tribe was maybe, I don't know, a little bit more mentally aware, could they
Yeah.
have figured something out in that moment?
Yeah, and I think so. And I think it's just difficult if you're the tribe that doesn't end up starting this game with food and flint, that they always just seem to like completely crumble and be cursed all the way through until, there's 2 people left.
Yeah, and that's just the unfortunate thing about the way this game is formatted right now. And it's a really unfortunate casualty here in the form of Jeremiah, who I thought at least was pretty decent as a player. We're never
Yeah.
going to know if he was just awesome, but even just his whole talk about using astrology, and as a Libra, I felt very seen by you, Jeremiah. It's just that he seemed like he had an awareness of how to campaign, of how to try to talk to people. Like he could have been a useful player.
Absolutely. And if we could just go back to two bigger tribes, I also feel like we would have a lot more players like Jeremiah be able to last a bit longer. When you're on a tribe of only 6 people and
Yeah.
then down to 5 and down to 4, it feels like the strategy now is people go onto their tribes, they get a group of 4, and they just pick off the other 2 people. And
Yeah.
then that's how it goes. Rinse and repeat every single season. It's time to shake it up.
Yeah, and we're in this spot where, unfortunately, on the Kele trial, Alex and Sophie end up coming together, and
Yep.
they're the two who cast the votes to get rid of Jeremiah.
Yep.
And I feel bad for the two of them because I like both of them fairly well. Like it stinks, obviously, for Alex that Jake left the game, their
Yep.
bromance and all of that, but I think they were such a close duo that that might have actually been a negative for Alex long term. And now that Jake is gone, can he maneuver around a little bit more?
Maybe. I think that it would have been really interesting to watch Alex and Jake go forward and continue to kind of like have this closeness until eventually we end up getting to the merge. Like it would have been really interesting to see them both post merge, but obviously that's not
No.
a thing that's going to happen. Alex had to use his idol. Like there was no getting around that. If he hadn't used it, I would have been like really surprised. This was the right move.
It was. And I know it's always easy to sit back and be like, oh, he wasted his idol. He did it.
No.
Yeah, I agree 100% because it's just like, for me, if I'm playing Survivor, I would much rather just play my idol when I didn't need it than go home with it because ultimately he can find another idol. He can find a way to figure
That's
that
right.
out. And I feel like Sophie, even though she voted with him and he didn't need to play it, I'm sure she probably understood because if Sophie is in Alex's shoes, I feel like she probably would have played it too.
Yeah, and the thing with Sophie is, she's listening to them at the beach and she's like, "Oh my god, Alex is going to write my name down. If I can at least get Jeremiah to write down Alex, maybe I can write down Jeremiah and hope that Alex also writes down Jeremiah and that I'm able to kind of convince him that I'm loyal, that I'll be with him. Like it's better than her just ending up going home."
Yeah. Now, the last really crummy thing about this Kele losing streak and the evacuation and all of that is just that these other two tribes, the yellow and red Uli tribe, they're just getting the short end of the stick here because we have all these players, and really, there are so many of them that we know next to nothing about at this point.
Yeah, they're just ghosts on this show because the Blue Tribe is eating up all the screen time right now because they are cursed.
Yes, and we're in this spot where we have to just sort of savor whatever little thing we can. Like over on the Red Uli tribe. Like I am increasingly excited to watch Savannah play
Hmm.
because she's just got this really interesting awareness and she seems very gung ho. Like the moment she finds out that, Sage is saying things behind
Hmm.
her back, that's sort of putting a target on her. She's not really somebody who's willing to forgive. Like she sounds like she really wants to go after her. And it's just like, I want this tribe to go to tribal council because I want to see what that looks like. I want to see if this 4-person group that they're talking all about is actually a 4-person group.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I think Savannah is somebody to really watch. She is someone that is in a good position when it comes to information and
Yeah.
just sort of strategically and socially. And yeah, the minute that Sage is saying something, I mean, maybe she shouldn't be saying anything when there's no point in saying anything.
Yes, you don't need to talk about trying to get people out at this point in the game. I'm sure at this point they're really restless because they haven't gone to tribal. They don't know where anyone stands.
Yeah, and I mean, Sage and Dewan understand that they feel like they're on the outs because
Yeah.
they are like, well, nobody's talking about us and nobody's talking to us, so something can't be right here. But then they, of course, they have like, oh, the whole tribe decides to go out and look for the idol
Yeah.
because yeah, they're bored. And Rizzo found the beware advantage. Good for Rizzo. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
playing a decent game, and at that point when it was like, oh, we'll all just go look for it, I'm like, what is happening here? Like, you guys really must just be bored.
This is all too nice, Survivor. Well, I want people to go and play with your own self-interest. And this
The
is,
yellow tribe is doing this as well.
I
When
know.
Jason's like, oh, we should all just go look for it together. I'm like, but why?
It's a situation where, once again, it's these 3 tribes of 6 smaller groups. It's easier for groupthink, I think, to take over here, and it's harder to kind of go and be lost in a crowd. If one person out of 6 is off looking, it's probably easier for everyone to be like, oh, where is Steven? Where is Nate? Like, it's just trickier in that sense.
I was very happy to see that MC was feeling like I was feeling, which is okay. It's great for us to all be a tribe and be a group or whatever, but some stuff needs to just be as players and not as a group. So when she's out there looking for the advantage and gets the advantage,
Yeah.
the only person she tells is her number one, which is Steven. And that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, I think it's beneficial if you have one person you really trust that they can know about it. But that's the thing, like, you gotta really be able to trust them.
Yeah.
But that is where we are with Survivor 49, Episode 3. We do want to know from you guys, was this evacuation just like, is this something that should have happened? Or at the very least, do you think they should have presented it in a way where they actually explained why he needed to leave the game?
Yes. And have it be real, not just be here, being hyperbolic.
All right, let us know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for more, and you can support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description. Thank you so much for your support, and we will see you here next time.